Hi, everyone. Welcome to JD4K family. Thank you so much for joining me, my JD4K family. I decided to redo a part two, not a redo, but a part two of boundaries because I felt boundaries are needed in our daily lives. And sorry for the noise. I'm vacationing in the Dominican Republic. You can't see the sea, but they are actually fixing the pool today. So it's going to be quite noisy. I'm going to try my best to get through the message. Hopefully, God willingly, they allow me to. But either way, the show must go on. So I wanted to talk about it. I'm not understanding a little lighter here. Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay, so I needed to brighten that up. So basically, the show is based on my first part one, which was setting boundaries with family and friends. And this something that will help us all de stress if we do so. Sometimes people need to know this camera is not working as I want to. Okay. Sometimes we need to set up these boundaries between our families and friends. So this one is I decided to also continue boundaries, but instead I'm setting boundaries. It's going to go in and out, so bear with me. Boundaries in the workplace with employers and coworkers. So to start that off with, okay, thank you, moderator, hubby. Okay, so basically this message is about having boundaries with people that you work with on a daily basis. And we spend more time at work, 8 hours a day, some of us 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and some people are 7 days a week. So either they can become friends, family, or enemies. But for your own sanity, it's best that you adhere to setting up boundaries with certain people, just so that you're not stressed out and that you don't feel like it's problematic to go to work each day. Like one time I felt like I can't come here anymore at a particular place that I worked at because I transfer around a lot. I like to get to know all parts of the law. So I basically transferred to different areas of the court. And this one particular place I won't mention was the worst. I think I said it in part one. And so I didn't realize until I left there that I needed to set boundaries with those people, including my employer, supervisor as well, because they will do what it takes to, if if they don't like you or if you know too much, step on your toes. I'm not sure which one of those it was, but I know I was a hard worker. I still am. And when you're a hard worker, those are the ones that should be applauded and not the ones that hardly come to work or do anything per day. Then again, you're taken advantage of sometimes when you are a good worker, and that also sucks as well. So I, I advise people to set up boundaries with the workers and their employers, or if not managers, supervisor, whichever one that you're having a situation with. When you realize that is a situation, I suggest that you start noting it, take note of it, and jot it down. Daily incidents that are occurring. First I would talk to the supervisor or person, coworker, about the boundaries that you have, that you feel that you need to discuss with them, see if that works. And then if it doesn't, start jotting down everything you need to protect yourself, because this can become very hostile environment for an individual as yourself or others when you don't protect yourself in the workplace against people that just have no boundaries. I know I had to do it, and it really worked for me. And like, we don't come to work to make friends, but if it happens, that's a great thing. Blessings is great. But I come to work. And if it happens, it happens. It doesn't. I don't come there to have a cling or a group with a leader or all that kiddie stuff. I'm there to be a professional, do my job, and go home to my family. So, like most people that think like I do, we want to set those boundaries because you're the one going to work each day and you're the one that's going to be stressed out at the end of the day and possibly bring it home. And you don't want to do that to your family. So this is a past experience for me. Sorry, let me check the lighting on this again. All right, not so sure why it's got to be YouTube. Anyway, bear with me. I'm gonna get this message out. I don't feel like retaping it, so bear with me. It's gonna go in and out. It must be YouTube. And so, what it is that when we hold these things in, it doesn't help us. It affects our health mentally and physically. And that's why you see so many things happen in the workplace that can become hostile eventually. But for me, I didn't think that was worth it. It wasn't, I'm not going to do something stupid. I mean, no, thank you. I love myself too much. That's one. And everyone should love themselves as well. And it's never worth it at the end. But what is worth it is that you protect yourself, your emotions from toxicity, toxic air environments, and toxic coworkers, and toxic supervisors. And there are a lot out there. Some supervisors usually, if you're being mistreated or treated unfairly, usually it's because they know you can replace them. Um, and they're usually scared of that or intimidated by you because I don't understand how you just don't like someone unless they're not doing their job, not coming to work. But if you're a team player and you're doing your job, there's no reason for a supervisor or coworkers to have a problem with you. So basically, like I said, we don't come there to have friends. So don't go there looking for friends. If you don't have friends, find some outside of the workplace, and definitely don't find boyfriend or girlfriend in the workplace. There's a saying for that, but I don't curse any longer. So you don't do it at home, right? Something like that. It's an old school verse I heard about. Anyway, so getting back to the boundaries, if your supervisor treats you unfairly and you feeling that you're being treated less than the other people, the employees, your coworkers, your peers, then you have an issue with it, like I said, meet up with the supervisor first. That's going to be your first step. Take it easy. See if there's problems with you or is the problem with them. Most likely it's with them. But if it isn't, then you'll be able to talk about it. Now, if this supervisor is good or coworker, put it in any way you want to, whichever one relates to you. Um, as an issue still, then there's a problem. And so that problem needs to be addressed with boundaries. And here's the boundary. First, you're going to tell them that your situation is what it is and you're setting your boundaries. And then you're going to start jotting down and writing notes in a journal of dates and times that confrontation has happened or whatever unfair treatment you have gone through has occurred. Very important. It's like courts, New York State courts, when we talk about New York State or any court in any state, want times, proof, evidence. Evidence is always the biggest thing in the courthouse. I see too many people come and they say, "Oh well, this person did that and that." Okay, so where's your evidence? Oh, I need evidence. Yeah, especially if you don't have an attorney to help you. So that's very relevant that you have your evidence stored away in case this comes out of hand. And usually someone will try to get you out of a job. I've seen it happen where I work, where people were actually fired because they didn't do their job. They wanted to be liked so much that they allowed these people to put them out of work by saying that they couldn't do the job when they could do the job. It's just plain jealousy. It's not fair. So you're going to protect yourself from an employer, supervisor, manager, or coworker by taking these notes and storing them each and every. I don't care if it has to be a year, but if it gets out of hand, I suggest you start calling the union. That's what they're there for. You have your boundaries set. You're not here to play games. You're going to have to get your protection on. So that means that you have a union representative is located in every um, company of Every government that I know of and some private firms will have unions, private companies and firms, some, not all. And those that do take advantage of them. They're charging you for it, and you're letting them get away with just sitting there and collecting when you're paying and you're miserable. So utilize your union because they're supposed to do their job. I know I utilize mine when I need to, and they're there for your protection. I suggest that if you do meet with your employer after speaking with them and it becomes serious, I would meet with them with a union rep just to protect yourself. Um, set up a meeting with the supervisor stating that you think that you need to meet with them. You can let them know that you're bringing your union representative, or you don't have to. Respectively, I would say, listen, my union representative has a right to be with me on this meeting because I want to address the situations here, the unfair treatment, and everything else. I would be straightforward with my supervisor or whomever, coworker, or whomever is doing the disrespect or unfair treatment to you. And that would actually make it a less hostile environment for you to do it the right way, take the right channel, the right steps to do so. Now, once this is done, you now have a record with the union representative as your witness that there was a problem with either the coworker, manager, supervisor, or employer. Once this takes effect, you're more likely to have less harassment done to you or more. If it becomes more, then there's things called filing a grievance. There's 3 steps to a grievance in New York State. Our unions is 3 steps. Third step being the most crucial step you can take where it becomes so serious. The first step is like a warning, like you're gonna tell the union will be telling the employer that we know of this is happening and we're here to see why it's happening. It's like addressing a situation. This really isn't getting any lighter. Addressing the situation on an adult level. Okay, so once you get to that step 1, things should be cleared by now because now the supervisor knows you're recording it. It's going on record. It's going to be on their record that they were brought in by the union for whatever reasons that you may have against them or any coworker, and it should stop at that. Sometimes it doesn't, though. Things get harder, and you notice you're getting more work, and the person that or a coworker is getting less work. But whatever the case may be, the treatment is still being done, but it's being done differently. But you know that what I call it is revenge. Not revenge, but it's I can't recall the name, but it's a lot that employees do after you have actually filed a grievance against them, and so many people are scared of that they don't want to lose their jobs, but the union's there to protect you. You're either going to lose your job through this supervisor or coworker or manager, or whichever one you're having the difficulty with, or you're going to lose it just because you're telling the truth. Usually you're not. You're protecting yourself, but there's so many scared people out there that all they care about is just having their jobs and they don't care how they're getting treated. But that's you. You need to stand up for your rights, know who you are, and stand on what you believe in. And if you do believe it's unfair treatment being done, then you have every right to step forward and let it be known. Don't let any employer, supervisor, or coworker or your peers hold you back because they don't have the spine to do so for themselves, because I've seen spineless people out here and they do not back you up even though they've seen it. Well, it's understandable, but at the same time, we're all unionized and we're talking about us being unionized and the employer's not, and you're not backing your own peer up. That doesn't sound good to me. Actually, you're enabling this supervisor, employer, manager, or even a coworker to succeed by separating us so that they can continue to act the way they do, especially supervisors and managers, so they can continue to treat other people, certain people, unfairly. You are enabling it. Let me remind you again, you are enabling it, and people like you shouldn't have a union backing it all. I mean, it's not fair to anyone unless someone was doing something wrong that deserve this unfair treatment. But no, there shouldn't be any of that happening in the workplace, but it happens a lot, the unfair treatment. And then usually the employer or supervisor or manager wants to now take revenge on you with giving you either extra work or putting you to do work that you know already that it's not in your criteria, it's not in your title, and then you're doing something beneath someone else's your grade and someone else's grade that has a lower grade than you. And when you notice that, then there's something really wrong with that. And that's why we all have to speak up and protect each other as unionized members and have boundaries against employers and co-workers, managers, supervisors, whoever. We need to have boundaries at the workplace. Once we implement boundaries, I think it'll be more peaceful. Once people stand up and stick up for themselves, it'll be a much better place to go to work to, because then you know you have the backing of not only your union but your union members who was in the same union as you, depending on your grade level. And I don't see why they would side with the supervisor. They didn't hire you; your employer hired you and that supervisor. So unless it's the employer, I don't understand why everyone is not backing up the person in the right, who's in the right. you know. I did have some notes, but I think I went through everything. Yeah. So basically, that's holding up your boundaries because I have seen it happen, and it had happened to me where our own coworkers knew what happened and won't say what happened or anything, reveal anything, and then finds out that they were all against you and the whole time. So be very careful. Stick to yourself at work. If you need help, there's things out there, external. If your internal, if your union isn't working for you, and you see that they don't want to push forward your case, and you know you actually have merit in this case, and it's in your guidelines, read your union books and see if it's in there and point it out to them. And if they still don't, then I think you've done your internal scope. You filed your first step one. Now you need to do an external for someone to come in from outside and come in and look on the inside before it gets to where your job is gone. Because the moment that you stand up for yourself, people do not like it. And I'm going to always stand up for myself. So I don't know about anyone else, but I am not spineless. I would stand up to an employer, a supervisor, a manager, and a coworker to get my respect and let them know my boundaries, where they lie. And if I feel it's harassment, then I will let you know. I'll give you a warning. This looks like harassment. I have done that to a supervisor before. Matter of fact, because of what I've done, I've noticed the supervisor have not moved up to any position he ever wanted, appointed or open competitive, I mean, promotional exams. And you know why? Because karma. If you're treating someone differently, unfairly, and you know it's because you either don't like them or it's race, who knows what it is? It's an unfair treatment, so it's a problem. And so there, once you know it's a problem, then you're gonna address that problem. They don't like it. So um, this particular person did that, and I stood my ground. I was so happy when I got transferred out that I didn't have to see that person any longer. He is getting his karma today, from what I know, and I don't wish bad on anyone. But what you put out in that universe is coming back to you. You put out good, you're gonna get good. You put out bad, it's gonna come back some way, somehow. So believe in that, and you just can't do it to people. And like I stated, there are external associations outside, one called PERB, Public Employee Relations Board. I believe they're for private only, private employees, private government, no, private industries, sorry. Then there's the NLRB, which is the National Labor Relations Board as well, and they're for government employees, civil service, government employees. And then there's a few of them, but the ones that I know that are vital and how can I forget that? Human rights, right? Human rights. So you could go to them too. You'd need to do your own research, particularly if this comes to the point where I just discussed all this stuff and you're at that level of urgency, then you need to do your own research on which agency is assigned to your particular position or workplace, and you can use your union. They're supposed to help you through it. This is in case they didn't do their job. Then you need to do your own research and see which one of these agencies benefit you to get someone to come in and check what is going on in the workplace before it becomes a hostile environment. So basically, this is what I wanted to say today about boundaries too. I hope I gave you a lot of information that you can utilize in the future. Always send me suggestions on topics because I get a lot of topics that I've seen, experienced, or went through myself. So I have a lot of my own, but I would like you to share yours. I would share it on my show. Let's talk about it. That's what the show is about. Also, I'm doing a monthly, like I stated, family law was just done yesterday. It's posted on my channel, family law court procedures. I'm sorry, family court procedures. I'm doing legal information on different parts of the court that I've worked in, and filing court procedures and all the things you might need to get what you need done in the court. So I'll be doing once a month, probably at the end of every month. I'm believing I'm going to be doing evictions next. So anyone that's had eviction problems or have a problem with evictions, I need to know, or any landlord that needs to know, because I'm going to do from both ends, tenant and landlord information. Nothing long, and just some basics that you need to know when you're renting and when you own property as well. So that will be my monthly show, which is Judge Desire for Knowledge. My show that's weekly is My Truth Real Talk. And I'm not sure which subject I'll be talking about, but look for it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll be sending out what my topic will be then. And as I stated, my family court procedures has posted yesterday. Please like, subscribe, and share so this can go viral so people that need the help can get the help that they're looking for, the healing that they're looking for, because I try to do where I bring healing to it as well by helping people heal from whatever they need to. Workplace, about making boundaries is healing, you know. Anyway, so I was glad to have gotten this message out, and I continue to bring more messages out. It doesn't matter how many people show up, I'm still going to get it out there. So I'm happy for those that were kind enough to come and see this later or now, and I will see you next Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on Judge Desire for Knowledge channel with My Truth Real Talk really soon at 3 p.m. Thank you.